Welcome to this quick video tutorial showing you the process of replacing the screen on Samsung's 303C Chromebook. As you can see, this screen is broken. It's been rather unceremoniously sat on by my young daughter, but accidents happen. Tools required for this screen replacement are very simply a very small Phillips screwdriver and our fingers. This model of Chromebook doesn't have a removable battery, so before we start work it's very important that we power the machine off and make sure it's not plugged into the mains. Process on this machine is very simple. Just press and hold the power button with the illuminated light. Press and hold for a few seconds until the light goes off, and now we're safe to begin the process. First thing we need to do is remove the plastic bezel that fits around the screen in order that we can access 4 very small retaining Phillips screws inside that hold the screen in place. Removing the bezel is simply a case of getting your fingers down inside the gap between the plastic and the screen and very carefully moving your fingers round and unclipping a series of plastic clips that hold the bezel in place. You might find there is some adhesive along the bottom edge, so just take your time, take care, and it's quite a simple process. There we go. Okay. That's the plastic bezel removed, and now we can see the screen and its retaining screws. This is the screw in the top left corner, marked up with a yellow circle. Here's the top right, the bottom right hand screw, and finally the one on the bottom left. As indicated in the previous pictures, there are 4 screws that we need to undo. I'll mark them out for you now. This one on the top left, this one on the bottom left, this one top right, and this one bottom right. The screws are very small. Be sure to keep them in a safe place. We now need to very carefully fold the screen down from the back of the laptop flat onto the keyboard, ensuring that we keep the bottom edge of the screen close to the hinge, because the connector is at the bottom here and doesn't have a lot of free play. So just support the screen. There's no adhesive on this particular model, and keeping the edge close into the hinge, just gently lay it flat on the keyboard. The connector is a very small ribbon type connector. There is a little piece of, on this model, orange cellophane, and if you lift it up it reveals a sort of locking hinge made of metal. Flip that up and then very carefully separate the screen from the connecting cable. Our broken screen can now be removed from the laptop. Here's our new screen. This was ordered from laptopscreen.co.uk, ordered before 3 p.m. and delivered tracked the next day. Identical to the old one, mounting points are all in the same place. So let's get this fitted. Here's the new screen. lined up, ready to be connected back to the Chromebook. Make sure you line the connector on the screen up as best you can to the connector on the laptop, and then using the metal hinged part, push the connectors together, make sure they are connected equally all the way across and that you have a straight line connection. And then it's simply a case of pushing the metal clip down, and that will lock the connector in place. Now we need to raise the screen back into position. Make sure the hinge of the laptop is pushed fully back to avoid risk of the screen falling down. Remember that it's connected at the bottom with a very short connection, so just gently lift it up and line up the mounting points, and it will just sit there in place while you get ready to put the screws in. The screws are very small, so take care. They are slightly, or can be slightly, frustrating to get seated and get them threaded nicely, but just take your time and it's not too difficult. Now the machine is has the new screen reinstalled and secured with the screws. All that's left is to replace the bezel. Here's the bezel we removed earlier. Just seat it onto the laptop, get it lined up, and I would suggest starting with the top corners and just gently push with even pressure all the way around, and you'll hear a series of clicks as the plastic tabs lock back together. Again, take your time. Work your way around. And that feels good. Okay, there we have it. Now for the moment of truth. We will power up and check our new replacement screen works. So as before on this model, this is the power key. Just tap it. It's looking good. And there we go. One perfectly replaced screen on Samsung's 303C Chromebook. The whole process, had I not been making this video, you could probably achieve it literally in 3 or 4 minutes, provided you got a good screwdriver. One with a magnetic tip would help. But that's it. That concludes the video tutorial. Good luck. Any questions, leave them in the comments below.